Married people in Reddit. What made you say I'm gonna marry this man-woman? I thought we were just living together to see how it went. About a year into our relationship. Then he got appendicitis. We thought it was just an ulcer or something but went to the ER anyway. It took them forever to diagnose him. So by the time he goes into surgery it could burst. It's a big emergency. He took a couple of nights in the hospital to recover, and I slept there with him. Did not want to leave his side. My feelings for him really hit me hard at that time, and I knew I was rock solid in love with him. Still together, 20 years later, and we share our love for each other every day. I knew quickly with my new shoe band how he treated me, and my kids quickly showed me his character. His ability to calm my insecurities not caused by him is beyond anything I could have imagined. Plus, he embraces my goofy side and allows me to be 100% authentically me for the first time in my life. Whereas my first husband, I was scared no one else would ever love me and did 20 years of being treated horribly and being made to feel I wasn't good enough. My new husband shows me what love should have always been, and I'm grateful for him every single moment of every single day. I was actively trying not to date because I was doing pre-med and college track, but immediately knew she was the one the second I met her. She was an exact complement to my personality and aspirations in every way. I told her within 2 weeks of meeting her that I knew she was my future wife, and she said she felt the same way. We didn't rush it and still dated for 2 years before marriage, but we both knew it was an end game. We've been married for 15 years and have 4 kids together, and every day is better than the last. She is strong, compassionate, loving, intelligent, and loyal. I was really sick once and so brought me cough medicine all measured out along with juice. Growing up, most kids at school hardly ever missed school, and kids just showed up sick and pushed through. So I just learned to tough it out and go to school and deal with it. I felt like cold medicine never helped all that much, so it wasn't something I used often, so as an adult I don't really reach for it. It was technically a very small gesture, but I realized Esso would be a wonderful father one day in that moment, and could see what I may need more that I could see for myself. My wife and I knew we intended to marry each other pretty much day one. We confessed to each other, and the next day I went to work and found I was already innately taking her into account regarding future and financial plans. She had a similar realization. Of course, it could have gone terribly once I flew out to be with her, so I'd say I was 100% sure a few weeks later. And it was just how happy we were even when our living situation was not ideal. Even when things were really stressful, we communicated so well it was never hurtful or even very heated. Easy choice. XT. Not trying to beat my chest, I realized what I needed in a partner was someone who was kind and secure in herself, and who conceptualized a relationship as a team striving to achieve a common goal. Bonus was she was quirky and attractive, too. I now have 3 wonderful children with her, and thank God every day for my blessings. Even though I'm not particularly religious, I strive with every action and intention to build her the best life she could possibly experience. I'm very lucky. We went away for our first weekend away together in Prescott, AZ. We had spent the entire day walking around, had lunch, looked at antique shops. We get back to the hotel completely exhausted. The elevator was broken, so we walked up 4 or 5 flights to our room. By floor 3 we were so weak that we could barely move. She started farting as we tried to climb the stairs. We both fell to the floor, and we couldn't stop laughing. The more she laughed, the more she farted, and the funnier it got. I think I knew then that I was going to marry her. He makes me feel like I'm the most beautiful person in the world. He is thoughtful and always takes care of me when I need it. We have a lot of things in common, and our values are aligned. We don't get into fights very often, and when they do, it's usually something silly. The serious problems that do arise, we talk it through and find compromise if we can't agree. I have become a better person because of him. I'm more compassionate, understanding, and forgiving. He supports me in my career aspirations and is always uplifting. Grew up in a water-only family at restaurants, no apps or desserts either, obviously. On our first date, He asked me what appetizer I wanted to share. I was shook. After the meal, he followed up with, "What do you want for dessert?" And I damn near fell out of my chair. Just kidding. It was more the fact that he's the only person I've spent a multitude of consecutive days with and never gotten tired of him, annoyed by his presence. Celebrating 14 years married in June, and I'm still so excited to spend every day with him. There wasn't one moment, but a series of moments. Him introducing me to his family and me getting along with his siblings. US deciding to be long distance while I went to law school. Him supporting me the whole way. Being excited to move in together and furnishing a new place. Arguments we kept clean and bounced back from. Making it through quarantine happier with each other than ever. Going on little and big adventures. We've been together for 12 years, married for 2. And here's in all versions of my imagined futures. Nothing in particular. You don't always have one of those movie script moments. We started dating and everything was great, definitely in that honeymoon phase couples start in. But everything is all sunshine and rainbows. And you're blind to all the little problems and potential red flags. Except after like 7 years. You start to realize it can't be a phase if you're still best friends and everything still feels perfect. Turns out we just work that well together. And there's no way you don't marry that person. 2 things. Point 1. I had COVID, and we had a 3-hour phone call about dogs and which kind we wanted. He agreed with me on all the breeds I would want, later figured out he doesn't care. He just wants a dog. Point 2. After said phone call and many consecutive hangouts after work, I realized I wasn't getting sick of him like I usually do with people. I figured this was a good sign. A month after one, he asked me to marry him, and my answer was literally, DUH, and 2 years later, I'm still not sick of him. 1.5 years into dating, he drove 3 hours to my university. We were long distance while I was sick. He arrived with soup, smoothie, cough drops, movies downloaded on his laptop, and Gatorade for me. During this time I thought he was just a dude who was in it mostly for sex. I specifically told him to not come over since I had horrible diarrhea, cough, vomit, snotty nose, and I was contagious. He still came and laid with me, cleaned me up, fed me and kissed my forehead all weekend long. That was 2014. Not married but engaged to be. Even after finding out that I'm gonna need multiple surgeries during our relationship, I've had 3 so far in our 3 years together. But I have at least 3 more on the horizon. He stuck around. I'm unable to work, and we're unable to have relations often, but he doesn't give up. He still takes care of me every day. Works full-time and takes care of our 2 dogs. He still makes me feel wanted and like in the sexiest person in the world to him. He's a keeper. We were in COVID lockdown. I had a full-time job and was also halfway through my master's degree. She put in so much on practical duties to free up my time, not to mention support and morale. I didn't get tired of her company once. We played video games and did virtual zoo dates. It was only afterwards I realized that this time could have been hell, but it was a dream to get extra time with her. Lockdown ended the same week that my final dissertation was due. I proposed the week after. She's smart, feminine, intelligent, sexy, vulnerable, available, has a great job, income, wealth and savings. She's a boss, but not afraid to admit when she's wrong. She's funny, witty, educated Ivy League, and knows her own home, and she's not willing to settle for less than she deserves. It's not easy to find someone who you can build a future with. When you find them, you've got to grab on with both hands. Opportunities like that don't come around that often. Mine's a bit morbid, but my husband has a congenital heart defects, and we knew he had a heart operation in his future. He decided he wanted me to be the one to decide, should his life hang in the balance, how to take that forward. So that's why we got married. Neither of us will ever trust anyone else more. 12 years into the marriage, he's still the person I'd want advocating for me. And we've proved over and over to each other that it was the right choice. I was friends with her sister, and we were at their parents' house with a bunch of other friends. We were like 18, 19 at the time. She was still at college in another state, and I hadn't met her yet. I saw her senior photo on the wall, and I said, "Your sister is, oh, I'm gonna marry her one day." A year later, we met. And the rest is history. The sister was dating someone, and we weren't into each other like that. So there was no issue there. I was 15. I knew the day I met my ex-husband that I would marry him. Do I know why? No, but I did. I had a moment when I looked at him and realized I would marry him. He was 26 at the time. We spent 21 years together. He was abusive as fuck and left me damaged in more ways than I can count, but he was, is, and will always be the love of my life. I divorced him because I was tired of the fighting, and he refused to get his anger under control. He's just so patient, good-natured and stoic. I'm high-strung, and he relaxes me. It's rare that I experience an immediate crush, but I reverted to lack of eye contact, darting glances rather than my forced version autism with him. Everything with him was easy. There weren't a lot of big compromises idealistically. It just felt right being with him. I knew I loved him pretty quickly, and let him know if he proposed I'd say yes.